So thank you all very much. I'm hoping that the plan has worked and people are studiously handing out little coaster cards and copies of our DNA guide. This is almost like we planned it, actually, that we've just followed the case study from BAE, because it's a very similar process to the things that we've been doing in NG Bailey, which is good to see, which is obviously all the rage in engineering at the moment. So I'll start just by explaining who we are. We are a UK-wide organisation. We've got about 20 locations across the UK, one in Cyprus, which is random that we won't go into. And we are a privately owned construction company. We've actually been trading since 1921. So we celebrated 100 years of trading last year. And there's two divisions. We deliver technical solutions that bring life to buildings, as we like to say. So there's two divisions. The division I work in is engineering, and we design and install electrical and mechanical solutions into new builds. So when this stadium was built, we would have been in here with ladders and screwdrivers fixing all of this stuff that you see above you to the ceiling. And we design that and internally, in-house with our technical teams, and then we install it with our project teams, which I will come back to shortly. We have great pride in the work that we do to invest in our people. We are renowned in the industry for our apprenticeship programme, and it's a shame that Becky can't be here from L&D to talk to you with pride and passion as she does about exactly how we develop and support people. I work in a business performance team, so my role is organisational development within the engineering business, and I learn from the work that the business performance team do in looking at metrics and looking at our performance indicators, and I decide how and when we should strategically plan to improve things and intervene in some way with training or communications or whatever it might be. So the challenge that we face in engineering and have faced since before I became a Lumina practitioner and introduced Lumina into the business is that we, as I've said, we pride ourselves on a technical solution that we design and we install. And we have two types of teams. So our project management teams are there to one project manager. We can have probably up to 50 live projects that run at any one time across the UK. So we have one project manager who manages planners, quantity surveyors, team assistants, project engineers, sometimes up to the scale of maybe 200 employees on one project, all studiously installing the solution into the building. And that project manager, well, I'll ask you actually for your suggestions. What do you think the characteristics are that we look for or that naturally brings in our project manager population? You'll have to shout because we've not got runners. Red blood. Yes, that's one way of putting it. I think that's probably accurate. Any more suggestions? Discipline, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Detail. So, yes, we do, I guess, if we could give out some magic detail pills to our project managers and get away with it, I think we would, because I think we'd like them to be a little more detail conscious sometimes. I think it's fair to say that they are so outcome focused, so focused on providing a solution and getting it over the line in time and in budget that sometimes they fail to really concentrate on the detail where it's necessary. Pardon? Collaboration. Yes, absolutely, yes, yeah. Good point. So, project management focuses on leading a team of people in a collaborative way to follow a plan and achieve objectives. But they do it very often in competition with a whole other host of contractors, construction contractors that are in the same building at the same time, laying floors, putting in heating, decorating, etc. So they are, it is a very competitive environment, and it does often bring out the worst in some people, I would say, when we get into the realms of overextensions. Our design engineering teams are actually quite unique because there aren't very many other organisations in mechanical electrical services that have their own design installation, that have their own technical team. And our technical teams are technically specialised. They are very academic, they are true engineers, and they bring a particular set of personality preferences, as you can imagine, within the design community. And it's fundamental to the success of our business that these two teams work together collaboratively, cooperatively, in order for us to deliver what we've sold to the client effectively. So our challenge is that in organisation development, in L&D, we know that there are two really clear differences in the psychological makeup of those two communities, but it's in our best interest that they work together and understand each other. So this was when, a very long time ago now, we set about trying to establish some way of helping them accept and understand what else they could do in order to be more collaborative. And this was where Lumina came in. So I'm going to just show you something, a piece of research that was done in our business within one region. So the UK for us is split up into 5 regional areas, big regional areas that in turn, each one of them is probably worth about 50 million in terms of the value of the projects that they deliver. This is a typical example of the teams that sit within one of those regions. So on the left, this is all of our people that are in the operations. These are the planners, the project managers, the project engineers that actually go out and deliver the installation. And on the right is the technical team that provide the innovation and the design in the first place. And very often, the contact with the client begins with the technical team in trying to understand what the client's looking for and set the specification, but then it's handed over to the project teams to deliver. So what strikes you about those two team portraits? How do you think this plays out in day-to-day life in our operational teams? These people are all sat in a regional office in one place until the moment where they actually physically go to site to do the installation. They're all cohabiting in one big open plan office. How do you think this plays out, Nicola?
I think the operation...
Oh, I think you've got a microphone.
Doing the max shout there. I think that the operational team probably can't understand why the technical team don't just do it. Get the job done.
Yes. The reality is they don't understand why it takes so long. What's so difficult? All you need to do is draw a room and put some cable in on it, and how hard can it be? And they get really frustrated and impatient with the fact that it takes so long. The truth is that the technical team design is so meticulous, the specification has to be right down to the size of screw that they use to put the conduit on the wall, the size of cables, the size of conduit that they use that's got enough room for all the cables. It's really, really detailed work. What else do you think plays out? I've got a microphone heading towards you.
So I find it really interesting that you've not got much in the people-focused, but you've got a lot in the introverted. And I wonder if, I'd be interested to hear if that plays out, that people aren't very empathetic, but they grumble internally. So instead of maybe coming out and saying, we need to talk about this, like an extroverted person might be a bit more willing to, because they're introverted, they reflect on it, and that can cause some real cohesion issues and some real butting of heads.
Yes, yeah, I think the reality is that what would normally happen is that the internal reflection would happen. That would probably be fed back in some shape or form to somebody more senior. And then it goes up the chain, up to a regional director. And because the regional director typically sits somewhere in here, the regional director dismisses it as a grumble. And that's the truth. And it gets, oh, not him again. He said that before, why, he needs to let it go. So there's, culturally, the issue for us was that we needed a way of demonstrating to everybody, including the regional directors, that what we are looking for actually is a more inclusive approach, and that we're accepting the importance of all those people that sit at that side and have those preferences just as much as we're accepting these people that essentially go out there and earn the money, as it were. Okay, just for interest, that's everyday personas. And the same team portraits show a significant difference, I guess, between the everyday and the overextended. I'll just flick back. So the average for operations is here in discipline. We've got a plan, we need to deliver it. And as you quite rightly identified, it's over and introverted for technical. But when they're overextended and feeling under pressure, which is probably every week, to be fair, once we get into project delivery, that changes significantly. The operations only just become more outcome focused, more focused on the timeline and what needs to be delivered. But the focus for the technical team shifts quite significantly, right up into, is everybody okay? Do we all know what we're doing? And a more natural people focus. Okay, so what we started to do as a result of all of that, the plan was that we would introduce a competency framework. Incidentally, that was what I was brought in to do 7 years ago. I had a 12-month contract to write a framework, and I wrote it, and I'm still there talking about it now. And people are still going, what? The what? I don't know if I'm aware of that. So we split it into technical and behavioural competence, and purposefully said it's equally as important. Your technical competence is equally as important as your behavioural competence. It's a clear 50-50 split. And this was meant as a tool, as the colleagues from BAE have just said, it was meant as a tool for conversation, for something for people to relate to and be able to talk about in their language. So we did a series of workshops to identify in our own language in the organisation exactly what that means. We introduced a series of management workshops to train this out and to introduce, and this was where we introduced Lumina. And the competencies, the behavioural competencies, have been mapped to the Lumina Spark. So I want to just get into one example, a detail of how we've done that. We've most recently, I'm still in the process of piloting a new development programme for our project managers. The reason for this is that they are, numerically, in volume, they are a bigger community, but they are ultimately also the people that make us the success that we are. So we focused on our project management community for now. It depends how much longer they convince me to stay. So here's an example of one of our competencies. So we've written what influence means to us in NG Bailey. To us, influence means being highly skilled at getting others committed to a goal. And we do that by being confident, enthusiastic, encouraging creativity, and that we understand the needs of stakeholders, and we take in everybody's input and suggestions and views. And as a result of doing that with stakeholders, we engage them in the outcome. So it was through a series of workshops and things that we did with stakeholders that we identified this, and all of the competencies have been written in the same way, that this is what it means to us. We also mapped this to qualities within the Lumina profile. And what's the most important thing to say in line with everything that we've talked about today on the conference is that we purposefully made influence about being a little bit of everything. If you naturally are more flexible and accommodating in your style, or if you are naturally more logical, or if you're naturally preferring one-to-one conversation, all of those things contribute towards the way that we want our employees to influence. And that was the message that we were trying to get across. So we've produced some workshops for management training, as I've said, and that was what we talked about at the last conference, so I'm not going to go over all ground. But we did, in those workshops, we did some skills practice exercises where we partnered with a company and brought actors in to play the role and to demonstrate what good looks like, and to give people opportunity to practice their skills in a setting where they're in a safe environment and are able to have a go at speed reading and adapting their style in the way that the principles of Lumina expect or encourage. Gives them opportunity to get live feedback in that moment and for them to have another go. Oh, I know I got that wrong. I didn't mean to say that. Let's try it again and do it this way. And it's so impactful, so powerful, the chance that they get. I actually had a guy who came to me at lunchtime and said, I'm not doing this. I am not doing it. He was really quite distressed. I cannot do this. I don't like role play. I can't be somebody else. I'm not doing it. He was so aggrieved and anxious at the prospect. And the truth is that actually we're not asking you to be somebody else. We're asking you to be you. All we're saying is understand that that person isn't always like you. Accept what they need and do it. Communicate with them in a way that they need. And was able to talk him round. And I'm sure if you get a chance to talk to, I've brought 2 of the people from Role Plays for Training, which I'll introduce in a minute. And if you get a chance to speak to Neil this afternoon, he'll have lots more interesting stories about how people have dealt with that situation over the years that we've been doing it. So I just want to go on quickly to talk about the Development Centre. So we've got a project management training programme that I'm currently writing and piloting. And we've started with an assessment process, effectively, but it's purely about identifying the development needs of the individual. And we take them through, they do a Lumina Spark if they haven't already done one, or if they've not done one for a few years. And but we also take them through a series of activities which we've co-written with an assessment, a professional assessment company. I felt it was important to have an impartial third party involved in the process, so it wasn't just an NG Bailey thing, and that for the benefit of the individuals that are going through it, they get the benefit of impartial feedback. It wasn't NG Bailey employees giving the participants feedback. So this is just an example of, in the Development Centre, we did a role play exercise where, again, we brought in actors to play the role of a contractor project manager, so effectively our client. And there was a number of things that we did on the Development Centre Day, but this was just one of them. And in that, what we were looking for was for the participant to demonstrate a range of ways in which they try and influence the outcome with this particular client that the actor was playing the role of. And obviously, as you can see, we tried, because it was DNA competence, it's already mapped to Lumina Spark. So we were able to directly relate the indicators that we wrote for the observations to the Lumina Spark qualities. So what I want to do now is just give you an example of how we've worked with Role Plays for Training to really make our DNA, our competencies come to life. And we're going to show you a demonstration of what we would do actually in the workshops, in the training workshops. So this isn't exactly what I've just referred to in the Development Centre. This is where they're on a training day, they've been given skills practice briefing, they've been given the case study, the exercise, they've been given a chance to talk about it, and then they just have a go. So as a way of introducing that, we ask them to watch and take part in what we call, or what Role Plays for Training call, forum theatre. So I'm going to invite Neil Granger and Evie Killip to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? My name is Neil Granger, and this is my colleague, Evie Killip. And as Jen said, we are part of a company. We are actor facilitators that work for a company called RPFT. That is Role Plays for Training. And what we do, as it says in the title, is we help change mindsets. But in this case, within Lumina, we help to adapt mindsets. And we do that through bringing conversations to life, through drama-based techniques. Now, I'm aware that saying the word drama sometimes puts the fear of God into a lot of people, but we, as Jen said, what we try to do is do the performance, the acting, the role-playing ourselves, and we let other people be themselves. It's a real pleasure for me to be here because I've just become a Lumina practitioner myself, and my tutor's here as well, which was a thrill to meet him in person. Thank you very much. But what NG Bailey and RPFT were able to do is support me as the project manager of both LEAP and the development centres to be able to go through that. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you one of the techniques, as Jen said, that we use within our workshops to bring these conversations to life in order to highlight people's own Lumina profile preferences and also highlight the preferences of others and how they actually go about changing their behavior. Because as actors, as performers, much of the work that we do is focused on how people communicate with their non-verbals as well as their verbals, the actual words that they say to change someone's behavior or to adapt to somebody's profile based on what they know. So we're going to do, as Jen said, a thing called forum theatre now. And how that's going to work is we're going to play two different characters. Now, for the purpose of this forum theatre, I will now be known as John. So hello, it's nice to meet you. My name is John. I am a project manager within the design team. I love my job, great team, quite an extremely extroverted team, and we're full of energy, but we get the job done. And I'm going to meet today with a colleague of mine called Lucy. Now, Lucy works on the other side of things. Lucy works as a team member within the technical team. Now, we've identified that Lucy is an excellent performer. So much so we want to poach her. We want to bring her over to our team. We think she's brilliant. She's really got something about her. We saw a presentation she did recently. She's not the most kind of, extroverted person we would see on stage, but she really engaged people. There was real intimacy in what she did. And we wanted to come over to our team and to be a supervisor. So what I need to do in this conversation I'm about to have is to give some feedback to Lucy about how well she's done, that we really value her work, give her some idea about what she did so well that brought her to my attention. And I was sat in that presentation and I saw firsthand how brilliant she was. But I also want to tell her that we want to bring her over to our team. We want her to come over and become a supervisor, which I'm thinking she's going to be pretty thrilled about. So what I'd like you to do is simply just watch this conversation that we're going to have together. And afterwards, I'm going to ask you what you thought worked well. And we're going to delve a little bit further into it. And we're going to show you some of the work that we do with NG Bailey within this technique. So I'm going to meet her now. Like I say, just have a watch. And afterwards, we'll talk about what you saw, okay? Hi, Lucy. How are you? Oh, my God, you look great. That dress is gorgeous. Really nice on you. So it's great to see you. How are things?
Yeah, things have been quite busy.
Oh, God, I know. Busy, isn't it? It's crazy in the design team. We're a good bunch, but, we're all a bit mad. And I've got to be honest, it's quite hectic. I'm imagining it's the same for you. So what I would like to do is just give you a bit of feedback about how you're doing at the moment. So I think you know why we're here.
I'm not sure, really.
Well, lots of people have been talking about you.
Oh,
That's all I'm
God,
gonna
really?
say. There's been lots of chatter about you.
Has there?
Yep. But don't worry, it's fine. It's good chatter, good chatter. We think you're a star. We think you're brilliant. We think you're absolutely great. You're top notch. And as a result, we would like you to come over to our team and be a supervisor. What do you think?
Sorry, what?
We want you to come over to our team and be a supervisor. Can you believe it?
Okay.
You seem a bit hesitant. Do you understand what I'm telling you? This is great.
Yes, well, I'm not sure, really.
You're not sure about what? Well, I'm a bit worried about your kind of response. You don't seem to be kind of on board with this. It's really important for me that we have people that really want to do it. So, are you in or out?
I'm not sure that it's for me.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm
Sorry.
No, it's fine. You don't have to apologise. No, it's it's completely your prerogative. You do you. I just wasn't really expecting that because it's a great opportunity. But maybe another opportunity for someone else. Okay, no worries. Listen, just keep doing a great job. You're doing a wonderful job within your team, and yeah, I'll look forward to sitting in another one of your presentations. See you later. That is how you encourage to influence someone to take a new job role. You're welcome for me demonstrating that to you. What I'd like to do now is explore with you that conversation. And I think let's start with the bulk of the conversation. What did I do well? Oh, we've got someone here. Yeah, roving mic's coming to you. I can't wait for this.
The most positive thing was that you welcomed her.
The most positive thing was that I welcomed her.
Dot.
Oh, we're scraping the barrel here, aren't we? Surely there's something else positive about what I did there. Oh, we've got someone at the back, roving mic. Your work's going to be cut out, guys, I'm telling you.
You stopped talking.
That was good. I once had somebody say, "You're breathing." That was a good one. That was a low point. So I stopped talking. Anything else that was good about that conversation? Oh, yeah, we've got AJ. What do you reckon?
You did say some positive things about she was top-notch and doing really good work.
Yeah. And as someone who's quite extroverted, somebody says I'm top-notch, I love it. I'll take it. I don't really care what it's about as long as I'm top-notch. Okay. Let's explore what didn't maybe work as well in that conversation. Let me know what didn't work for you. What didn't happen? What didn't you see?
You didn't really give her time to speak, so you kind of said something, waited for a response, but almost immediately carried on yourself, so you weren't giving her any space.
It wasn't my intention. I was just enthusiastic for her. This is a great opportunity. I'd snap my hand off for this. So, what else? What else didn't I do? Come on, put your hands up. Let's get involved. Great. I didn't ask her what she wanted. Surely a new job in a new exciting team like mine is what she wants. But I didn't ask her, you're right. What else? So we've got some more over here.
Failed to establish any rapport?
Failed to establish any rapport, yeah. I try to bring energy and enthusiasm in my rapport style. It works a lot with my friends, works a lot with some of my team, but didn't work so well. How about you, sir?
Leapt in with your extroverted, go-getter.
Yeah.
And you didn't adapt to her, so that's why you didn't establish the rapport.
There was no adaptation.
Styles, exactly.
Yeah. And often it works for me to keep my style as me, but if I don't adapt, especially to people in a different team, then it doesn't work. Jen, could you put up the profiles again for me? So, try and see if I can reach them quite short. Operations team, I think I'm one of these guys round about here. That's me, gets stuff done, extroverted, takes charge, really wants to push things ahead, full of energy and enthusiasm. My team love it. Lucy is round about here. So, coming to your point, I didn't adapt at all there, did I? I didn't change any of my behaviours to suit the fact that Lucy is just completely the polar opposite to me. And if we move to the next slide, then we look at the overextended. And what happens, as Jen mentioned before, is that Lucy moves further up. So that blue energy starts to get a little bit more green, and she starts to be fearful, I guess. I think it's a really good point at this stage to ask Lucy directly how she feels. And again, we never get to do this in real life. If our conversations don't go well with someone, we never get to check in and see how they feel, really. So I'll pretend I can't hear. Let's just find out from Lucy how she feels after that conversation.
I felt very ambushed, and as a result, I felt quite anxious. I didn't understand what the conversation was about at the start, and then by the end, I felt very under pressure.
Okay, so not all bad. But as you can hear, Lucy didn't know what the conversation was about. So what I probably did was push her into that overextended. And other things come to play. So what we're going to do now is have that conversation again. But now this is where the forum theatre comes in. And I'm aware I say the word theatre. Some people go, oh God, oh God, oh God. There's no acting from you required, unless you'd like to. I know that AJ is going to do a Shakespeare sonnet after we've finished here, which is going to be wonderful, I'm telling you. I can't wait. We're going to do forum theatre. And now this conversation is no longer in my hands, because you are the script writers and the directors of that conversation. So what's going to happen, if you see or hear me do anything you don't like, you're going to shout, stop. At which point, one of our roving or roaming, I never know which word it is, mic people are going to run in, give you a mic, and what you're going to do is tell me what you don't like about what I'm doing, what I should be doing, but you're going to give me the actual words you want me to say. I will do and say whatever you tell me to do and say. Within reason, though, obviously. I know what you practitioners are like. So, before we start doing that, I think let's get 3 things that I can immediately do differently in this conversation, or before I start this conversation. The first thing we heard was Lucy say she had no idea what it was about. So, given we know whereabouts Lucy sits within Lumina, what should I be doing before this conversation even starts? Agenda. Yeah, brilliant. How would you like me to send that agenda? Email. So email that agenda over. What would you like to say in that email? Shall I tell her that I'm going to give her some feedback?
You could say, hi, Lucy. Hope you're well. I've been really impressed with your work so far, and I'd really like to have a chat about X, Y, and Z.
Great.
I'd appreciate if you could come to this meeting, and what I'd like to discuss is this.
Yeah.
Let me know if you've got any questions. I look forward to seeing you.
Great. Okay, so already what we're doing is hopefully removing that stress level that Lucy's coming in and thinking, I don't know what any of this is about. So we're going to try this conversation again. Remember, I will just continue being terrible unless you stop it. You're in control now, so you need to shout stop. The mic will come over, tell me what it is you want me to change, and give me the words you want me to give Lucy. Okay? Are we on board with this? Yeah? I see a couple of nods. A few of you are like, oh, not sure. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Right. We'll start again. Again, shout stop when you don't. Lucy, hi. How are you? Good to see you. How's things?
Yeah, things have been a bit busy.
God, I know it's crazy. Okay. Who's stopping? Who's stopping?
You might just want to, tone it down. Say hello. How are you? I'm really glad you could do this meeting. And then go through the agenda, just checking in with her.
Bring the energy down a bit. Remove that. I think I was 98% extroverted, both John and the real me as well, so I have to be careful with it. Lucy, hi, really good to see you. How's things?
Hi, yeah, well, thank you. Bit busy.
Yeah, I'm busy too. It's a... Let her finish. Okay. I think we could do even better than that. You're all aware of this, I'm sure, but we're going to get it up. If you could get up, let's explore the idea of open questions. Because what we had here was Lucy say, yeah, a bit busy. And how often do we just go, yeah, I know what you mean. I'm a bit busy too. Or, oh, busy, great. Okay, so moving on to the next subject. What should I be asking Lucy when she says she's busy?
How are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. How are you?
Well, let's explore. So, Jen, could you just put up the... So we've obviously know our when, where, what, why, how, who. Open questions. But what we don't often explore is how we can use them within that coaching style. And if, Jen, you put up the next slide, which is a thing that we use we call it qua. It's simply question, answer, question, answer. And the very premise of that is that when we get an answer like, I'm busy, the next answer has part of the language, the next question has part of the language of the answer in it. So the next question has to be, tell me what you're busy in. And what we start to do is follow a linear approach directed by that person sat there, not by me and my agenda of what I want to ask. And the analogy I like to use is this idea of digging a hole. Every time we ask one good open question, we dig a little hole in the garden, say. And then if we ask another open question in a completely different spot, we never get any deeper. And if we're keeping those questions in the same spot, we're digging a deeper hole. So let's move on to that. Busy, you say you're busy. What are you busy with at the moment?
My team are just getting to grips with the new cataloguing software, so that puts us under some time pressure.
Yeah, I bet that does, yeah. Well, listen, you got the agenda that I sent you. What I'd like to do today is give you a little bit of feedback about some of the work that you've been doing. And then... Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for sitting at the front.
I was late this time. Actually, winding back, when she says she's busy and she says what it is, thank her for sparing her time, her valuable time.
Thank you. Yeah, brilliant. Love it. Okay, thank you. Well, thank you. I understand you're busy, but thank you for spending your valuable time to come today. I wanted to give you a bit of feedback. And
Don't say feedback because it's kind of a loaded word.
Yes.
Say something like, something positive, like express my admiration. Or,
Oh, I like it.
say something positive, not something that's potentially negative or threatening.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is give you an idea about how well we think you're doing at the moment, and give you some positive feedback. No? Give me that phrase again. You did it better than me.
Express my admiration.
Yeah, we like that. We good with that? Yeah, we've got a hand up in the middle.
You could ask her whether it's right if you give her feedback. So, do you mind if I give you some feedback? So you're getting her buy-in to
I like
receiving
it.
it.
Ooh, it's conjecture. So, in the interest of time, what we're going to do is we're just going to sort of merge them, move it on, because I'm aware that I need to hand back in a bit, and I want to get to a conclusion here. You're too good, basically. So everyone shut up. Right, so what I'm wanting to do, as I mentioned in the email, is to give you some feedback about how well we think you're doing, some really positive feedback. And I also want to potentially put a job opportunity your way. So the feedback has been that you're brilliant, you're really good, we think you're a star, basically, within the organisation, and everybody loves you. Oh. Yeah, specific. She leads with blue. She needs detail. You tell me I'm brilliant, I go, woohoo! But you tell someone leads with blue, they want to go, okay, I'm not going to believe you until you make it specific and detailed. We've seen how well you've done recently. Specifically, I saw you run a presentation last week. I thought it was excellently done. I think you handled the questions brilliantly. I've also seen some of the work that you've been doing on one-to-ones with people, and I think you're really good at having those slightly more intimate conversations. And we've identified that that's... Yeah?
Take a breath, give her a chance to respond.
Take a breath. It's hard, my brain. The mouth works before the brain does. And we've identified that you would be a great person to move over to our team and become a supervisor. Yeah. Wind back.
I would wind right back.
Yep.
You need to find out where she wants to go with her career before you start offering her a job.
Okay.
So you give her some positive feedback, went to see your presentation, it was absolutely brilliant, blah, blah, blah. Where are you thinking that, are you happy in your role at the moment? Are you thinking about where your next move might be?
Yeah, love it.
And then you listen.
Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to speed through it because I want to get to that conclusion. What are your? Where are you at the moment? What do you see your future within this organisation being?
I'm not sure really. I just know that presentation that I thought would be challenging, I've actually found to be a really positive experience.
Great.
So possibly some more of that, but I'm not sure.
Well, an opportunity has come up to move over to my team, move over to the operations team, and to be a supervisor. I wanted to know what your thoughts might be on that.
Oh, I'm not sure, really.
I need to have an answer probably in the next 2 minutes. Yeah, I've just seen if you were awake. I need to give a time, don't I? Do I need an answer today? No. So I'm going to move this forward. I'm going to do a little bit of best practice. It might not be perfect, but I want to get to a conclusion at the end. No. Sorry. That's good.
I think you should tell her about the job.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything.
Let's imagine I've told her about the job if I had an extra 10 minutes.
I just said that
Yeah.
you should tell her about the job as a supervisor, so she
Absolutely.
has the information to make.
So giving her that detail, giving her more information, but again, not expecting that quick answer in the moment. So now I've explained a little bit about the job. What would be the best way for us to proceed? Would you like a little bit of time to have a think about it, maybe talk to anyone?
Yes, I think I'd like a bit of time to go away and think about it and talk about it with somebody, because I'd like to maintain my work-life balance, and I feel that I've only just recently started to do that, so I just want to make sure that this would really be right for me and that I wouldn't waste your time.
And are there any other concerns or thoughts that you have around potentially taking the role?
I think I'd need a full job specification so I could really understand what the job would entail.
Great. Okay, well, what I can do, I'll send you all of the details, the job description, so you can really have a look at it. We put a date in next week, me and you, we can sit down, we can talk some more about it. Gives you a bit of time to have a look at it, see what works for you. Does that work okay?
Thank you, that would be great.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we would love to have you on board, but at the same time, you take your time. This is completely your decision, and I just want you to know that, whatever the decision, you've done some fantastic work, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. And as I say, I look forward to being in the next presentation you give.
Thank you.
That was a bit better, wasn't it? Not too bad. Could have been better, a bit more time. Let's just quickly find out how Lucy feels now after that.
I really wasn't expecting to be offered such a great opportunity. I think having had the agenda before the meeting helped give me a clearer understanding of what that meeting might involve. And also now that I've had an opportunity to read the job specification, I do feel more confident that I might be able to do the job.
So it's interesting, isn't it? By me adapting my style, as we know, by me understanding myself and understanding that my nature is to go into that extroverted energy, inspiration-driven, I didn't get the outcome I needed. And if I wanted to inspire Lucy to take that job, to be interested in possibly stepping into that job, it was a much better way to do it. And the truth is that Lucy actually, in this case, Lucy actually took that role because she had time to process it and wanted to actually feel like she was in control, that she had all the detail, that she was focused. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved in that. It's a bit of a snapshot of what we do and the work that we're proud to do with Jen and NG Bailey. And I'm going to pass you back to Jen now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. It was kind of a rushed version of what they would normally do. That would normally take an awful lot longer, and it would be more, I guess, more thorough with a smaller group. We typically have 10 or 12 people in a group at one time. So, does anybody have any questions, or do you just want to go for lunch?
Short question around the technical competences.
Yeah.
Do you have any way of measure the levels of the technical competences on the video?
Yeah, so we've adapted our performance management process, and all 12 competencies are reviewed in the annual and 6-monthly meetings. The process is that the individual does a self-assessment and gives themselves a score, and then their line manager does the same thing, and then they come to a meeting and they talk about it and agree what the development areas might be.
Thank you. Just an observation, I think. The really beautiful link with the work that Nick was talking about yesterday, that experiential.
Yeah.
What I really like is the way that you've adapted that doesn't put the delegates in a position of, oh, good grief, we've got to do role play.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just a thank you for sharing it, because I've not seen it delivered so well like that, but still giving the opportunity for everybody to appreciate it without putting them out of their comfort zone. So yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just on that, when they get to the skills practice session, so we do the forum theatre first, and they have a go. We introduce them to the qua and the check that they understand what we mean by open questions. And then when they do the skills practice, they go into threes. So there'll be 2 participants and an actor, and you will be with a colleague, the engineer will be with a colleague, and the actor will take the role of the person that they're having the conversation with. Then they'll stop the conversation, all have a discussion about how it went, and then they'll get a chance to have another go. But then they also watch their colleague and give their colleague feedback. So it's a really intimate, small, 3-way conversation. And we would typically have 5 or 6 actors to get involved in that afternoon session.
Yeah, 2-part question. I love that. I just love it. I've always been scared and worried about doing it, but it was great to see. So question is, do you do that online? And secondly, would you be prepared to train actors in Africa to do a similar sort of thing?
The simple answer is, as actors, on behalf of us, what we found is we knew about the pandemic about a month beforehand, because every single bit of our work just got removed from the diary, as I'm sure that many of you did with your workshops. But what we had to do is then adapt it to an online form. So we didn't specifically do that with NG Bailey, given the nature of the work that NG Bailey do, but the work that we did was doing what we did there, forum theatre and role play, and we have other techniques like hot seating. Again, developing, working on conversations, because a lot of the clients that we work with have worked with their teams and said, this isn't a temporary measure. This, for many of you, this is the future. You're going to spend, you're going to work in a hybrid way that you think is best for you. So yes, absolutely, we do all of this online. And for a while, luckily we were able to do the development centre work with NG Bailey in person. But for a long time, we were planning to do it online. And yes, I'm with my colleague here, Amy, who's one of the people that's at the forefront of role plays for training. So we would love to talk to you about how we could support you with training people in Africa. Yeah.
We currently do that for BP in Africa. So we do have a lot of contacts, and we source actors globally. So.
Much as I love the might want to take that offline. Can I pass the ball back to you for where you'd like to take it next?
Yeah, so I've already explained that our next step at the moment is to complete the writing the project management training programme. But there are other ways in which we're currently looking at within the group learning and development function at talent and how we can review and enhance what we do with our talent population.